President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has rejoiced with all the winners of the Saturday, August 16, 2025 by-elections in 16 constituencies across 12 states of the Federation. Following the results declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the All Progressives Congress, APC, won in 12 constituencies. The All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, won in 2. The People's Democratic Party won in 1. And the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, also won in 1 constituency. However, opposition parties have rejected the results and conduct of the by-elections. Joining us on this show to discuss the conduct of Saturday's by-elections is Chukwuemeka Eze, a law and diplomacy expert. He will also discuss how our actions at home have global consequences, as seen in the Canadian court ruling describing PDP and APC as terrorist organizations. Good morning, Mr. Eze, and thank you very much for joining us on the Morning Show.
Good morning, Dr. Ruben.
Good morning. Well, very quickly, Saturday's by-elections. Do you think we have learned any lessons, or this is something about 2027 general elections? APC digging in 12 out of the 16 constituencies where elections were held. What are your thoughts in terms of what also happened with regard to vote buying, manipulation, intimidation of voters, and voters selling their votes?
I think we are treating the political symptoms and not the root cause. Politicians will need to sit down and talk and directly agree on a code of conduct on management of politics generally, elections specifically. I don't want to take specific incidents because the problem is holistic and foundationally rooted. So where there is no rule as to the maximum sum a person can spend in an election, there is no electoral offenses tribunal, people can take ballot boxes, allegations will be made, no accountability. I mean, definitely this thing will continue until there is a political summit and the outcome of that summit is reduced into a legislation acceptable by all parties. But besides political summit and having legislation, there is need to avoid a winner-takes-all in Nigeria. As long as we adopt this winner-takes-all attitude, the loser or the person who perceives himself that he will lose will do everything possible to ensure that he doesn't lose. More so considering the amount of money spent on elections, hundreds of millions of naira, billions of naira, some people sell all their properties, and when they get involved, they lose. I mean, the society looks down on them. There should be a fallback position where losers will have something to clutch to in terms of, even if it is the society regarding them as having done something. I mean, having a way to reward those who have good conduct politically. But if we just adopt this notion of winning and losing, you lose out, you become a villain, you win, you become the cynosure of all eyes. I don't think looking at the symptoms of what happened yesterday or what will happen in 2027 will save the situation.
Okay, Mr. Eze, let me just probe a bit further. This winner takes all, this applies in other parts of the world where they're able to hold credible elections. So I'd like you to expand what's different about Nigeria and what would you propose as a consolation prize, as it were, to someone who's lost an election?
Yes, in those other parts of the country, of the world where winner takes all are allowed, we have strong institutions to protect the loser We also have strong corporate organizations. You can see a former governor going back to teach in the classroom. You can see a former governor in Nigeria going back to the classroom to teach, take up teaching. He may not be the dean, and the dean of the faculty will be directing him. So we don't have the same or similar labor practices, institutional framework, capacity building, and all that we have in those countries. And in some countries, even when they have this capacity, they adopt proportional representation, whereby a party that makes a certain percentage will be allowed to take a certain percentage in governance. So, but here, even if you get, let's take a total sum of votes to be 10,000. One party gets 5,100, and the other party gets 4,900. The party that gets 4,900 will be left in the cold. All their supporters will be disturbing the party that got 5,100. So definitely the next 4 years for the party that won, they'll spend it trying to woo the supporters of the other party or trying to quell the nuisance value of people in the other party. And once they do it for 2 years, they start campaigning for the next 2 years.
Okay.
So we need a holistic solution.
And you're very apt. We need an holistic solution. Let's talk about Canada now, saying that political parties are terrorist organizations. I mean, what's your read on that? Quickly.
Yes, the world has, because of the impact of terrorism in the whole world, the world has come to adopt, especially Western countries and all modern democracies, to have liberal interpretation of terrorism. The previous interpretation whereby you need to bomb people and do all manner of things on a very large scale has been brought to a close, such that with the impact of certain political parties in the Western world being anti-immigration, so even the ruling parties that were very liberal to immigration, they are beginning to accept the interpretation, the expansion, the extrapolation of the meaning of terrorism. And take it, Nigeria is the 6th in the Global Terrorism Index. So it's not a very enviable position to be in number 6. So take it back to Canada, what has happened in Canada. In the case of Douglas Areva and Canada, where the two PDP and APC have been described as terrorist organizations. So it is, I think, for that purpose, the Federal Court of Canada used it contextually, in that context for immigration purposes. Although it can be expanded in future, and this is not the first time similar Nigerians will go to wash our dirty linen in the public. But beyond what Nigerians say for purposes of getting asylum and elevating themselves to refugee status under the Refugee Convention of 1951 of the United Nations. So beyond what they say, they should realize that under Article 2 of the Refugee Convention, they are bound to submit themselves to the national laws of the countries they have found themselves. And under Article 9, those countries can reject the applications based on national security. And I think that it was in the course of trying to reject that application, pursuant not just to Article 9, but also to Section 53 of the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act of Canada, that the Federal Court of Canada said, no, what the parties belong to engaged in subversion, and this could be likened to terrorism.
Okay, on that note, we would like to thank you very much, Mr. Eze, for joining us on the morning show.